Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome to On Angel Wings. This is one of my favorite shows to do every week, and my co host is Christina Leftwich, and I just love what you bring to the table, Christina.
Oh, I love bringing it to the table.
It's so fun.
It is
You,
to
you
interact
make
and
it
get your
fun.
you make it fun and you get to interact with things and ish and ideas that maybe you haven't done before. So it's a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
it really is. And I'm really looking forward to this one tonight. And we have our Auntie Jean on Zoom with us.
Hello,
Catherine
everyone.
Kovacs. Hi, Catherine. Welcome with your new glasses. They look beautiful.
Good evening, everyone.
We have Grace Isis in New York.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry.
And our Charlie, and I think Erica might be there in the car with you. Hello to you both. And everyone who's joining with us. Hi, honey. Everyone who's joining with us virtually, welcome. We're so glad you're here. What we do is a teaching first. So Christina will talk to us about this beautiful ascended master that we're going to focus on tonight. And then I'll lead us in a short meditation to connect with him. And then we'll go offline. And while we're offline, we just do more discussion, question and answer. If you'd like to come online with us, then just let us know. And the Zoom link is so available to anybody that wants to jump in here. So we're going to get right to it. I am going to turn this over to Christina, and I know we have Andrea Gregg with us in the audience, and somebody whose name is just coming up, Facebook user. So if you want to type in your name and let us know that you're here, we would love to see who's watching virtually.
Okay. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about El Morya. He is one of the masters of ancient wisdom. So, as we just said, he's one of the masters of ancient wisdom in modern theosophical beliefs. Madam Helen Blavatsky, I'm going to have trouble tonight. I can see already I'm getting too tongue-tied. First described this master, who was one of her primary gurus, really, in the entire establishment of the theosophical, society. And she both spoke and wrote extensively about the teachings that these guides and gurus imparted to her. And when I mean extensive teachings, I mean extensive. There's entire books on this entire subject. So if you would like to delve in a little bit more in depth, the material is definitely out there. So Morya also engaged in dialogue with two theologians that were living in India. So one man's name was A.P. Sinet, and the other man was A.O. Hume. So their correspondence was actually shared in its entirety in the book known as the Mahatma Letters to A.P. Sinet. And here is a picture of that book. And literally everything was just transcribed word for word of how this correspondence took place. Annie Besant and C.W. Ledbetter further reported about their interactions with this master in their research. Now, this research took place at the center that was actually in India. And some of their research led to teachings that indicated that there had been many, many incarnations of Morya, including one where he was emperor of Atlantis. And here we have a picture of these two contributors. So some of the other incarnations include Melchior, who is one of the three wise men, Abraham, King Arthur of Camelot, Thomas Becket, who was the Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas More, who is a famous Irish poet and activist, Akbar, who was a Mughal emperor who really tried to bring more equality to the land, and Sergei of Renaissance, a monastic reformer of medieval Russia. Now, Elizabeth Clare Prophet from Summit House also gives us a little bit of more insight about this master, saying that Morya teaches us that the will of God is within us, and it is a blueprint for us. It is the design of the soul. Now, his final incarnation is said to be of El Morya Khan, who was a prince in Rajput, India. Now, Morya ascended in 1898, and he became an ascended master and Kohan of the first ray, the blue ray, where he serves with Archangel Michael and Archaic Faith, for example. And this is actually a portrait done of Morya. Now, since this ascension in 1898, El Morya has worked extensively also with Saint Germain for both the cause of both individual freedoms as well as world freedom. He is also the head of the Darjeeling Council and master of the Brothers of the Diamond Heart. Now, El Morya works with and inspires all concerned with government in any form. So here we have Saint Germain, and here we have another portrait of El Morya. Now, El Morya gives guidance to life's purpose within the context of the will of God. Now, some qualities of El Morya include power. He's powerful. Excuse me. He is filled with goodwill. He gives us strength with faith. El Morya's the spiritual retreat is in Darjeeling, India, and he is associated with a bright blue color. Now here we have a mantra, which can really sum it up. And it is, I will, to will, God's will. Okay. We'll bring this back to you. And I'm going to finish getting some tea down because that just, woo, I got a frog in my throat. It's making my eyes water.
Oh, Christina, that was awesome. El Morya, wow, this is someone who came in many lifetimes and was a teacher. That's what he did. He taught by example, and he left us with many, many words of wisdom, as does our Mary Lou, who just joined us. Hello, Mary Lou. And on Facebook, we have Blue Jean with us, and we also have John Thaddeus Fiore watching in. So we'd love to see if you have any questions in the audience, if you, because probably you're not going to be joining us on the discussion that we'll have after the meditation. So if there's anything that you want answered, that maybe some questions came up during that discussion about El Morya, type them in, and we'll make sure that an answer gets put in on Facebook. And Prachetta just joined us. Thank you, Prachetta, for being here. So as you can see from what Christina brought to us, this was a very, I think charismatic is a good word, but he also was very powerful in the lifetimes that he led. He didn't come in just to come in and live and go quietly. He came in with a really big impact. And the fact that he has ascended to be the Chohan of that blue ray speaks volumes about this man. And as he has come to me in the past, I think it was the energy of his essence of confidence that drew me in when I would have conversation with him. Now, the blue ray is a very intriguing ray because it is the ray where we discover our worthiness, we discover the will of God in that blue ray. You can go into the blue ray energy, even if you weren't born in under that ray, and you may not understand even what that means. So there are different masters that help us here on this 3D human plane. There are archangels, and all of them work together with us in the certain rays because those are the lessons we came here to learn. Those are the things we said, I'm going to go experience that in this lifetime. So in that blue ray, you're working with the will of God. You're working with how your soul evolution is coming forth to be. So Morya is the perfect person to go to. One of the things that I have understood and read about him is there was one lifetime where I believe it was when he was a priest and he knew that he was going to be persecuted. He knew that they were after him. Okay, he wasn't paranoid. There really was somebody that wanted him dead. And he willingly went to the altar where they beheaded him because he knew that to fight them wasn't the will of God. He knew that he was going on to come to that point where he would incarnate into that point where he didn't have to incarnate anymore. He would be that ascended master that would teach us. But it was always, every incarnation, it was always focused on the will of God. And that's why he's the Chohan of the blue ray. So let's go into a meditation with him, remembering that it is the blue ray that we're focused on, and remembering that when we ask to be shown what we need to know in these different rays of energy, we will receive. It's a matter of opening up to it so that we can receive the information and the guidance and the blessing of being in that energy. So first, let's just take a breath in. Just breathe into your heart center and release. Now this time, when you take your breath in, just envision that light, the beautiful ray of energy that's coming forward. It might appear to you as a soft blue in the beginning, but as you watch it get closer and closer to your heart center, it changes and it sparkles, and there's so much energy in that color. There's so much depth to that color. And maybe when it enters your heart center, it's no longer a light blue. Maybe it's changing the hue of that color, depending on how much you open up to it and you allow it in. So breathe in again. The light hasn't left you. It's already entered into your heart. Now let it go forward and move upward to your third eye chakra from your heart. You can see this as that light traveling out the back of your heart center, up your spine, over your crown, and then let it enter into your third eye. When it comes to that place inside the third eye where the pineal gland is, just allow that explosion of light that happens when it meets up with your third eye. You're able to see it for what it truly is. You're able to see the master that's coming forward. And as this master comes forward, he extends his hand to you. He invites you to take his hand. This is El Morya. This is the one who speaks wisdom, the one who gives guidance for whatever your question is, especially if you're wondering about your path, if you're wondering about the will of God for you in your life. And Morya is so gentle. As his energy comes in, it might first look kind of intense. Yes, the same energy as Archangel Metatron when he comes forward. But you see the gentleness of his soul. So just sit with this master. As you take his hand, just allow him to lead you. And with every step that the two of you take together, just see that blue energy surrounding you. See Archangel Michael standing on one side and Archaea Faith standing on the other. They are the angels that work with the blue ray. And they're there for your protection, for your guidance, for this to be a gentle experience for you, but also a fulfilling experience. As you walk down this path with El Morya, and you look down at your feet and the path ahead of you, you see that it is lined with lapis lazuli, this beautiful gemstone that takes you higher in your frequency. So as you breathe in and you focus on that blue energy, just see what's happening. What's happening with you? What's happening with your heart center? Are you opening up to these beautiful ascended energies that are coming in? This master walking with you hand in hand, the angels walking on each side of you. If you open your heart, you will see what they want to show you as they lead you down that path. At the very end of the path is a pond. It's full of lilies. The reflection in the pond is so clear that if you look in there, you'll see yourself. You'll see that master standing right beside of you, tall and strong. You'll see the love in his eyes that he's showing for you, wanting the very best for you, wanting you to understand more about what you're doing here, where your path is guiding you to, how to be more aware of yourself as you move through this earthly plane. So look at that pond, look at the reflection in it. And as you look at yourself in the pond, you might see a little ripple happen in the water. But when it comes back to a calm state, see if anything has changed. Keep looking at your reflection and allow El Morya to show you the true you, not your human body you, but this reflection that's coming from the pond, which is your spirit you, that part of you that came from source, that knows that you did, but maybe you still have a lot of questions in this incarnation. Maybe there's some things you resonate with when it comes to El Morya. Maybe like him, you know that you have a strong will to know God, to be closer to God. But maybe there's some questions that come up with that. This is your opportunity to ask this beautiful master and the angels that are also surrounding you, whatever that question is, whatever you have a need to know, this is your time to get the answers to that. So breathe in and watch, and maybe there's other ripples. As the ripples move the water and move your image, you may be seeing yourself in another form. Maybe Morya is showing you other incarnations that you've had. Maybe he's guiding you to look at your lives that you're living, not just on this 3D dimension at this point in time, but maybe there's other dimensions of energy that he's showing to you. Just open up your heart center and allow the messages and the images to come through. And just take a moment now to do that. Just watch the water. Listen to this master as he speaks with you and gives you wisdom, ancient wisdom from all the many lives he led, all of his experience being the Chohan of this ray. Just let him help you. And we'll take a moment to do that as we sit in silence and you really turn your ear to him to hear what he has to say. Now look back at the pond and see there a lotus flower that's just floating in the water. And see how open that lotus flower is. Morya is pointing out that with each layer that opens up, that's a layer of your pineal gland opening for you to really get more involved and intense about this life that you came here for, the will of God that's showing itself to you. How open is your lotus flower? And are you willing to let those layers unfold? That's the question he wants to leave you with. It's your choice if you want to progress in your spiritual journey, or if you continue to be caught up in the daily do's and have-tos of the world. Are you willing to put the time and the effort into your journey to go further down that path, to see what's in that water reflecting back to you? He says the choice is yours. So as you give Morya your answer, and you give him your commitment, if you're ready, to move forward on your path, he assures you that at any time you can walk down that beautiful path lined with the lapis lazuli, and you can come to this very spot where you're standing right now, and he'll be there. and so will Michael and Archaea Faith. And they will help you through that journey. They will help you with insights. They will help you to understand your life a lot better and all the things that you have collected in your energy, in your DNA, that brought you to this person standing by the water right now. So let's give gratitude to this beautiful master. Let's just say thank you to El Morya. Thank you to your higher self who helped you to connect with him. Thank you to the Creator who brought forth these ascended masters to help us on this journey. And thank you to Michael and Faith and all the angels who played a part in bringing you right here to this place on this day. You're so loved. You're so blessed. And may you continue down that path as much as you need to open up to your divinity, to open up to the will of God in your life. Let's take a deep breath in and let's all come back to the room. And all of you who watched with us, thank you. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for exploring this master, this wonderful, amazing energy that we have access to at any moment in time that we want to have that access. Thank you to Christina, my co-host, for the beautiful presentation that you did and bringing the light, the spotlight on this master. So we are going to say goodbye to our virtual friends, and we are going to go now into the Zoom room and have a discussion and debrief and see what everybody's meditation led them to, and any other questions that you may have. Thank you so much for being here. So much love to you all. And we say, Namaste.
Namaste.
Y'all.
Namaste, y'all.
We'll see you later. Bye, everybody.